My name is Daniel Hayes, and for 7 years, I paid for someone else's dream while putting my own life on hold. At the time, I didn't see it that way. I thought I was investing in our future. I thought sacrifice was what committed people did for each other. Looking back, now I realize something important. Sacrifice only works when both people are building the same future. Mine was, hers wasn't. I met Emily when I was 24. I had recently joined the army and was still figuring out what kind of life I wanted. She was studying political science and dreamed of becoming an attorney someday. She was intelligent, ambitious, and confident. Those qualities attracted me immediately. The relationship moved quickly. Within a year, we were living together. A year after that, we were married. We didn't have much money. Most months were a careful balancing act, but we had a plan. At least, I thought we did. Emily wanted to attend law school. The tuition was expensive. The workload would be overwhelming. Working full-time while studying wasn't realistic. So we made a decision together. I would support us financially while she focused on school. Once I'm finished, she told me one night, holding my hand across our tiny kitchen table, everything will be worth it. I believed her. For the next 7 years, I worked harder than I ever had before. Military deployments, training exercises, long separations, missed birthdays, missed holidays, missed anniversaries. I endured all of it because I thought we were building something together. Whenever Emily needed books, I paid. When tuition increased, I covered it. When internship opportunities appeared that paid almost nothing, I encouraged her to take them. I told myself every sacrifice had a purpose. Every difficult day moved us closer to a better future. There were warning signs. Looking back, I can see them clearly. But when you love someone, you become an expert at explaining away uncomfortable truths. Emily slowly stopped asking about my day. She stopped showing interest in my deployments. Conversations became one-sided. Everything revolved around her classes, her professors, her career goals. At first, I didn't mind. Law school was stressful. I wanted to be supportive. But over time, something changed. She became different, colder, more impatient, more critical. The woman who once thanked me for every little thing now acted as though my support was simply expected. One evening during her final year, I came home unexpectedly early. Emily was talking with one of her friends. Neither realized I was standing near the doorway. I only caught part of the conversation. "He means well, but we're just different now." Her friend laughed. "What do you mean?" Emily sighed. "I've outgrown him." Those 3 words hit harder than any physical injury I ever experienced. I've outgrown him, not we have problems, not we need to communicate, not we're struggling. Outgrown, like I was an old apartment she planned to leave behind. I almost walked into the room, almost confronted her. Instead, I stayed quiet, and that decision changed everything. For the first time, I started paying attention, really paying attention. The next several months revealed things I wish I had never learned. Emily spoke differently around her colleagues. She rarely mentioned being married. Sometimes she referred to me as a military guy I live with, not her husband, not her partner, just a military guy. The more successful she became, the more distant she grew. Then she passed the bar exam. Everyone celebrated. Her family hosted a large party. Friends congratulated her. Social media exploded with praise. And honestly, I was proud. I genuinely was. Because despite everything, I still believed success would bring us back together. I couldn't have been more wrong. 3 weeks later, she sat across from me in our dining room. The conversation lasted less than 10 minutes. "I think we've grown apart." Those were her opening words. I stared at her, unsure whether I had heard correctly. She continued speaking, calmly, professionally, almost like she had rehearsed it. "Our lifestyles don't align anymore. Our goals are different. We want different things." Then came the sentence I will never forget. "You're a good man, Daniel, but you're not really the person I need beside me anymore." I felt something break inside me, not dramatically, not loudly, just quietly. The way trust breaks, the way loyalty breaks, the way a future breaks. 2 weeks later, divorce papers arrived. The reasons listed inside sounded carefully constructed. Lifestyle incompatibility, Different ambitions, intellectual differences, intellectual differences. I read those words 3 times. The woman whose legal education I had financed was now arguing that we were intellectually incompatible. The irony would have been funny if it didn't hurt so much. Most people expected me to fight emotionally, to beg, to negotiate, to convince her to stay. Instead, I called an attorney. Then I started organizing documents. Every tuition payment, every transfer, every housing expense, every receipt, every record. 7 years of records, thousands of pages. Because the military teaches you something. Important documentation matters. Weeks later, we finally entered the courtroom. Emily looked confident, extremely confident. She arrived with an expensive attorney and the attitude of someone expecting an easy victory. She barely looked at me. That hurt more than I expected, not because I still loved her, because she seemed embarrassed by me, as though the man who carried her through 7 years of education had become inconvenient. The hearing began. Her attorney spoke first. They painted a simple picture. 2 people grew apart. One became an attorney, one remained in military service. Different paths, different futures, nothing unusual. Then my attorney stood, and everything changed. He placed several binders on the table. The judge immediately noticed. What exactly is this? My attorney smiled. 7 years of financial support, Your Honor. The courtroom became very quiet. Page after page documented tuition payments, living expenses, educational costs, internship support, exam fees, housing payments, everything. Emily's confidence slowly disappeared. Then came the emails. Hundreds of them. Requests for help, requests for money, promises about their future together. Promises she had written herself. The judge spent several minutes reviewing them. Then he looked directly at Emily. His expression had changed. The entire atmosphere had changed. For the first time that day, she looked nervous. Very nervous. And then came the document that ended any remaining doubt. A signed declaration acknowledging that her education had been made possible almost entirely through marital support provided by her husband during military service. She had signed it years earlier. Voluntarily. The judge stared at the document, then looked up, then looked back down again. Finally, he removed his glasses. Interesting, he said quietly. That single word carried enormous weight. The rest of the hearing moved quickly, much quicker than Emily expected, because facts are difficult to argue with, especially when they're documented. When the ruling finally came, she didn't receive the outcome she expected, not even close. Months later, people still ask whether I regret supporting her. The answer surprises them. No, I don't regret helping someone I loved. What I regret is ignoring the warning signs. I regret believing loyalty automatically creates loyalty. Because it doesn't, character does. And character only reveals itself when someone finally gets what they want. Emily got everything. She spent years chasing the degree, the career, the status, the title. And in the process, she lost the one person who believed in her before any of those things existed. As for me, I stayed in the Army, built my own future, bought my own home, and eventually learned something valuable. Being underestimated can be painful, but sometimes it's also an advantage, because while other people are busy looking down on you, they stop paying attention. And that's usually when the truth catches up with them.